Welcome to Canada's podcast.
Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast. Joining me today on Winnipeg's podcast is Sandy Schindelman, who is president of Shindico, based in Winnipeg. Thanks so much for joining us today, Sandy.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
All right, so you folks are celebrating an important year for the company, 50 years in business. Tell me a little bit about that, how it started, and we'll go from there, Sandy.
Well, we started in Portage la Prairie. That's part way to Calgary from Winnipeg, about an hour into the 15-hour trip. And operated in agribusiness. My parents were in the farming and livestock and abattoir and grocery store, quarter grocery store.
Yeah.
So they sure taught us how to work, and we listened. And I started Shindico sometime after 73, really officially in 1975. And while I was at the University of Manitoba, my brother joined me very shortly afterward, and very important cog in the wheel that makes us Shindico.
Yeah. So maybe just give us a little bit of a rundown of what Shindico is and what you guys do.
Shindico, first of all, primarily started off as a commercial real estate broker, property manager, asset manager, private equity fund, and development. And by development, we've basically done all the food categories. Industrial, we're building an industrial park. Retail, which is what we're known for, which we've been in since 1975. Personal storage with our Storageville operation. Residential apartment buildings, the Residence on Taylor, a joint venture with Ontario Teachers to build 1,500 units at Polo Park. We're entitling a lot of our lands for this kind of mixed use. We opened SNR construction about a year and a half ago. So we were able to self-perform and get a little more cost certainty and attention to detail and quality. You know, if it's your own, you have the time to do that. The commercial construction business in Manitoba is not very competitive. There isn't enough performers in it. And so, but there's lots of work. Lots of work. And so we're in the acquisition mode. Our funds for acquiring and repositioning assets. We've got a lot of grocery anchored assets and a couple more on the way. We're proud of the team that we've built. The next generation, the only next generation is my daughter's in her third year of business school, and she may come into the business in the future. We're certainly making room for her, but we've got a fantastic young, motivated staff, from our CFO, COO, CIO, general counsel. My wife, of course, is younger than I as well, and it really works well.
Join our thriving community of like-minded individuals who share a passion for success and innovation. CanadasPodcast.com. Subscribe now.
Let's turn back the clock here 50 years ago. What was the genesis for all this? Why did you decide to start up this company?
Well, I wanted to be in brokerage. I thought it was an easier way to make a living than unloading 75-pound bags of potatoes and 100-pound bags of flour and sugar, because we used to have quite a big sugar business with all the stills in the country.
Yeah.
Distillers, I should say.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be an easy way to make a living. I didn't think the work was going to be that hard. It turns out it was, because you don't close the store when you're in real estate. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
I had a difficult time really having credibility in brokerage. So I started to buy the odd site and renovate the odd site at the same time. And then moved to Winnipeg. And it just kind of grew organically. I never had a high personal overhead. I mean, I had a car, uh, a pair of blue jeans, a cowboy hat, and a sleep disorder, so I could work all night and all day,
Yeah.
learning the business. And I gravitated to retail because it was not the flavor of the month. It was not the flavor of the decade. There wasn't anyone really doing it. Rents had been stagnant for more than a decade, and there wasn't really much in the way of new product. So I was able to establish an expertise. I studied the CCIM program, which was very good for me to get me going, and later became an instructor, and then senior instructor, and now instructor emeritus. But I spent 42 years as the faculty of the CCIM organization. I credit that with a lot of our early successes for validation of what I was doing, since I was working on my own and I didn't have any mentors. The CCIM program provided that for me.
Mm. What does it take, Sandy, for a business to have the type of longevity that you had?
Well, we don't spend more than we make. We invest carefully. We pay all of our bills before they're due.
Mhm.
We have a reputation for that, and we have time for everybody. So we're not up on our high horse in any way. We have time for people. We succeed by helping other people succeed, and we're happy to do that.
Mhm.
Our palms don't sweat, I guess, for the money, and the money just seems to come, sometimes more, sometimes less. But my brother and I are the last to get paid.
Mm.
So there's 60 or 80 people there. They will get paid first. We
Mhm.
get paid what's left.
Mhm.
And it's always been that way.
Yeah.
And it'll always be that way.
Yeah. What about where you do business? More specifically in Winnipeg, but in generally in Manitoba. What's the business environment like for an entrepreneur, for a business owner in there?
Well, Manitoba is, a slow economy. Doesn't compare to what we see in Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC or Ontario in terms of the go-go nature of it, the boom bust. It plods along. You have to be very careful. Entitlements are difficult to get, always have been. I don't know why. They're the municipalities in the past, and maybe that's changing now, have been happier to give people a bigger tax bill than build a bigger tax base.
Hmm.
And we're all for building a bigger tax base and building the jobs.
Yeah.
We're very happy because every time we put up a building, hopefully somebody's in there working and earning a salary and paying taxes and growing our economy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what do you see the future as for the province and for Winnipeg?
Well, I think steady as she goes. We didn't capitalize on the increasing immigration like other places did
Hmm.
to get a lot of product built. We're hoping we're seeking entitlements for about 8,000 units between Winnipeg, Ottawa area, and the GTA.
Mm.
So there we build in partnership with Main and Main a different product. concrete poured in place, high-rise mixed use. Here, our mixed use is certainly not 40 stories high.
Yeah.
We would say under 20. And we like to see the mixed use being adjacent. We don't like to have pizza delivery on the main floor of an apartment that we want to get $2,500 a month for.
Yeah.
It can be just a 2-minute walk. That's just fine. And that's been working out great. So we have anchored shopping centers, a lot of Sobeys, that type of development, Walmart developments. And we're seeing retail added to that, residential added to that, and even personal storage in the area. But we haven't put that into mixed use yet.
Okay. What about when you look at your own journey as being an entrepreneur? What do you think helped you along the way in terms of achieving the success that you've achieved?
Well, watching my father, although it was in a different business,
Yeah.
but watching how he took care of people, neighbors, customers. If a small child was carrying a pop bottle towards the store and the store was closed, and my dad saw him out of the rear view mirror, he would back the truck up, open the door, and let the young person in to get some candies for his pop bottle.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you are. You're an important person to us. You're in our market. We care about people. We care about the people we work with deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And by and large, that has been returned to us.
Stay ahead of the game with our expert tips and strategies that will help your business thrive in a digital era. CanadasPodcast.com. Subscribe now.
What's the future hold for you and the company?
Well, growing the professional management. Always going to be the founder and more or less a chairman role. We're working on a lot of acquisitions. I think the pipeline is about $250 million acquisition pipeline. We'll see how many or if any are all close. A development pipeline of about $1.5 billion, largely residential. Rental. We don't do condos.
Mm-hmm.
And growing all of our businesses that we have. We have a private equity business where we invest in a couple of businesses like Trek City, the delivery place, and Canada Post gave us a good leg up for a couple of months around Christmas time when they decided to take a break. Different businesses that help our businesses we're invested in.
Mm-hmm.
We're vertically integrated in the general construction and could vertically integrate even further if businesses have a difference in succession. We're all ears for that to create partnerships and grow our Manitoba-based business.
Yeah. Sounds like retirement is nowhere near in the near future for you.
Well, my daughter's got, at least 5 years more education. That'll put me at 73. I have no need really to slow down because of the good health and the good health of the people that we have working with us. We merged with Ackman Construction and got a lot of good people from Danny and Alex. Alex is our CFO now, CEO, COO.
Sorry.
All words I don't use very much. Alex is helping run things. So I see the longevity of being able to slow down in the future. I have slowed down in that I don't have everyday tasks to do. Yeah. I'm very grateful for the team I have for doing those tasks. We're just expanding our office space to the main floor of our building and Construction will be ongoing in about a month or two there, kind of bringing everyone closer to home and building a place for our construction equipment not too far down across the street. Everything we build, we tend to lease up. We have great locations that we've acquired 30 years ago and 25 years ago that have come into their own, that have taken decades to get entitlements, unfortunately. But once we get those entitlements, we'll be able to build a tax base at all sides of the city. In East Winnipeg, where we have Reindeers right across from Kildonan Place Shopping Center. Why should those people not have everything that Polo Park area has? So we want to build a product and a living that everybody should have the same thing. And they shouldn't have to drive from one end to the other of our city, even though it's only 20 minutes. When you grow up in Winnipeg or Port Prairie, 20 minutes is a long time. You should have gone to the bathroom before you left.
Switching gears here for a second, Sandy, obviously running a business of your magnitude, it can be time consuming. I wonder, what do you do to relax?
Well, not much. Spend a little time in Florida, watching people walking down the beach. I don't have too many hobbies. I'm an accumulator of things, accumulator of cars, special interest cars. I was finally able to get a 55 Nomad that I wanted since 1970. And I got it 2 years ago. Quite a few cars. The usual guy stuff: cars, guns, knives. I'm a collector.
All right. You'll have more time for that eventually. All right.
Eventually, yes. Unless Trudeau takes them all away from us. He hasn't got to the cars yet.
All right. Well, super. Thanks so much, Sandy, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be hosted by Mario.
All right, super. Thank you. That was Sandy Schindelman, who was president of Shindico. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's Podcast. Thanks for joining us today.